I'm back doing research on another MMO that is very early in development that people know very little about. This one is about the new Zenimax MMO. Just like last time, the link to the research document is in the description. If you like these deep dives on these projects, subscribe, as this is one of the niches I am considering for this channel, and your feedback determines whether I continue to make these videos or if I should try to focus in other areas. Jumping right in for confirmed information, the only things I felt okay with putting in this section are that it is an MMO with a new IP. This is listed in multiple places across many job postings. A new IP would likely rule out the Mandalorian MMO idea that is prevalent on the internet for this title. For the interesting speculative information, they seem to be building a new game engine. This adds quite a bit to the development time, most likely. New game engine is listed several times in the job postings. It seems quite likely they are developing this for PC and console simultaneously, as they list this many times in the job listings as well. There's one job listing that also mentions mobile, so potentially that is being considered as well. The initial announcement was made in August of 2021 on their job board, stating they were in pre-production at the time. I also found a lead narrative designer that shows he has worked on the project since 2018 on his LinkedIn, so potentially this has been in the works for several years. The senior technical designer camera position gives some insights into the camera's perspective. It states they have a unique camera vision for this game and talks about wanting to alleviate motion sickness caused by the camera. I normally associate motion sickness more with a first-person camera, but the senior systems designer position lists a preferred skill as experience in developing third-person games. So I wonder if it will have a third-person camera with some first-person camera options as well. There is an old job posting for a vehicle specialist that may or may not have been for this project. The job is no longer listed on their website. The senior systems designer job talks about progression systems, so it probably has progression systems just like every MMO. The principal monetization designer position gives some insight into what they want to do with monetization. On the good side, they talk about a player first mindset and monetization while having empathy for the player, but they also talk about microtransactions, which can be okay if done right, but often they are not done right. And that is it for the confirmed and interesting information that I have found. As for my best guess as to what this MMO actually is, it is of course way too early, but I'm going to try anyways. I think it is an MMO and a new IP. The narrative designer seems to potentially have been working on the game since 2018. The pre-production hiring post was in August of 2021. With the large amount of job postings, I am guessing they're moving into production phase around now. But with making a new game engine, I would not expect to see a launch until at least 6 years from now. If they were using Unreal Engine 5, 4 years from now would be possible. But probably adding at least 2 years for engine development makes sense, unless they are just updating the ESO engine, which is also proprietary, then potentially faster. But 2028 launch seems like a decent guess if you go with a 6-year time frame. It seems to be developed for PC and console, quite likely anyways. The mobile reference in one job posting makes me think they are considering mobile as well. The camera seems to be third person with potentially some popping into first person, with vehicles potentially also involved. I wonder if it is not some kind of an MMO third or first person shooter, maybe a PlanetSide or Destiny type of MMO. I think it probably has microtransactions. This can be okay in some circumstances, but often has not been. We'll have to see what they are going for with this. Hopefully not a box price plus subscription plus microtransactions. And hopefully the microtransactions are cosmetic only, but we shall see. And that's it for the new Zenimax MMO. Just like the Riot MMO, the link is in the description for the document. Also, let me know what in-development MMO that we know little about currently that you would like me to research. Throne and Liberty maybe? Throne and Liberty is certainly not early in development, but I could try to find out more about it in the same way I did for the Riot MMO and for this MMO. This is basically something that seems to be a lost art, especially in the gaming news space, some old-fashioned investigative journalism. It took me literally 5 minutes of going through job postings to be pretty convinced this was not a Mandalorian MMO, considering the new IP that is mentioned a million times. Yet this is still what is all over the gaming news websites when you search for the new Zenimax MMO. Finally, thanks again for all the support. The channel is finally starting to get a little bit of momentum going again, and with that, I will see you in the next video.